Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Day number 275, the war in Ukraine. That's a lot of days, folks. I was thinking about it as Jane and I were connecting tonight for the stream, and 275. 9 o'clock hour here on the East Coast, 4 a.m. in Ukraine, 6 a.m. out in California. Thank you guys for being here. Much love, much appreciation. And once again, hope you had a great Thanksgiving yesterday, wherever you were at in the world. And we have a lot to be thankful for. So with that said, we're going to jump in, get the man in here on this Friday night, Saturday morning, his time. Good morning to you, buddy.
Oh, good evening, friends.
Nice to see you. You're looking good there.
Thank you.
When we were talking a few minutes ago, you were rejoicing because you have a little heat in your house.
Yeah, not little, quite enough.
Good. Your son is under the weather a little bit, not feeling well, 102 temperature, and you're taking care of him. So we wish him well. You've had a busy day today.
Yeah.
Before we get started, let me put this up here, and we'll just jump right in here. We've got a picture here I'm showing now. Looks like some burners and special batteries. They're in a shipment.
Yeah. There were some more. It's just a part of the picture. In the box, we send the whole box.
Okay. Let me sling this here.
All right. A little bit more.
Еще одна отправка.
Another shipment.
Yes.
You know, that's a really nice coat. That's so big that probably I can fit in it with you when I get there, but keeping you warm. So what did we ship?
Yeah.
We shipped the burners. I saw fuel.
Yes, the burners and special AQ batteries for heat vision and night vision. And
batteries for thermal
power
and night vision optics.
Yeah. Yes. And the power banks, the stuff they need.
Which is vitally important right now, of course.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump into it. Tonight's update's going to be a little bit different. I mean, not really different, but I've got a lot of video I want to get some comments from you on, and we're going to break it down tonight. Of course, tonight we're talking about, what is Putin's next steps? Because today, in fact, on day number 275, a lot of key leaders, key nations, it could be European Parliament, Poland, Great Britain, they came out, NATO, Jens Stoltenberg, they came out very strong and told Ukraine, do not quit, do not give up. You cannot surrender. We have to win the war. We'll talk about that. So the question is, what's going to happen and what will be Russia's response? I'm going to give a little bit of insight into that tonight. But let's start here. Can you give us an update on front lines? Of course, Kherson being shelled constantly, Nikopol being shelled, the red lines, and then your random S-300 missile attacks raining down at various times. Mykolaiv, Kherson, of course, Kryvyi Rog, Zaporozhye, Dnipro, Kramatorsk region, and Kharkiv. I've got the red X down there on Guliapol. These are the hot areas. You also were telling me earlier some of our friends moved to a new location out east, and it's pretty tough. Pretty tough. What do you know on the frontline stuff?
So, in general, the situation, let's say, stable, and we're keeping the same position as it was the previous days. The only probably tough place for Ukrainian side is Marinka. We lose a bit, not much, but the Russian terrorists have some success that area. But in general, last, let's say, week, a lot of rains there. We had snow, they had rains, and because of that, it made a much slower situation with the attacks from both sides, and even for the tanks, it's situation. I mean, it's a muddy dirt and not easy. So it's slow, and the Russians attacking not by the big groups like battalions. It's small groups. Sometimes 10, 15, 20 people like that. And yes, it's in general for the position and situation with Kherson with the missile attacks. Yes, it's bad. You probably know
Hmm.
situation on Kherson, and or maybe we will talk. They continue killing people, civilian people, and attacking all possible because this is the okay. They know they cannot beat Ukrainians on a battlefield. I mean, and
Correct.
they know that I mean we don't have a balance with, and we cannot fight the same way. Our guys doing I mean incredible work, but against of their rockets, missiles, it's not easy. So they're
No.
using their benefits, let's say, or their like strongest part. They're attacking the way they know that they have much more success.
Well, you're talking about.
But
I've pulled up the map here. There's the Kherson area, of course. This entire front line here along the river, and right here's a lot of the islands that we were referring to yesterday or the day before in the update. So this is the line. The river's the line. Of course, moving up here. This is where Energodar is and Zaporozhye, and then you were talking about specifically Marinka. And if people are wondering where Marinka is, here is Donetsk, and then you zoom right into where this push is here at
mhm,
Marinka. So it's tough. So as you can see here, the occupation line on red is halfway through the city. The gray zone, which can be both, which we've been in before, is
mhm,
the battle points, and this is going to be some urban warfare here. Um,
mhm.
Not a lot of that, but this east line is pretty tough. But we're doing a good job. So we continue on. They continue to rain down missiles as normal. Now, on the power front, Zelensky said tonight in his nightly update, he gave some details. Basically, it's this: the infrastructure is getting back up, as you attested to yourself. You've got light, you've got some central heat going now, but the
Mhm, mhm,
rotations are 200,000 to 400,000 customers per region. And Ukraine, right now, taking care of 19 regions. 5 regions are occupied,
mhm,
including Crimea. So you can see, you start adding that up, it can be quite a few customers that are rotating. I have a 6 in the corner because Zelensky's address this evening said that tonight 6 million people will be out of power at one time, but the rotations are happening. So, I mean, 6 million people in the dark is a lot, but,
yeah.
but we're getting it back stabilized. Unfortunately, I mean, somebody put in the chat or a comment on a video, and I saw it today. They said, yeah, it's great that we get it restored, but it's almost as if it's the plan of Russia, not only with the cycling of the missile attacks, but go ahead and repair it a little bit, and then we're going to rain down more missiles to waste your repairs and your parts and the things that you're doing. So thankful that we have a little bit of good news on the power front.
Yes, but I think as well because of that attacks, our I mean our government and military people they're building new plants
Mm-hmm.
and they are preparing already for the next attack. And yes, it affects people's life. And one of my friends he says, "Hey, situation is not easy because of the I mean the electricity is not stable. A lot of orders people are canceling because I cannot work there, and it affects my life. So it affects the thousands and thousands of people's life in Ukraine, and yes, but we fight, and our people. I mean, I don't know. Have you seen these videos? But when electricity comes back, people are so great, so happy, and they I mean, shouting loudly about something about, hey, we will not surrender, we will not trade our discomfort and delight for the freedom. In
Correct.
every places like this, people are, I mean, happy to have it, and yes, and to be honest, coming back to our previous conversation, we were discussing it in some areas, like even my place, people were not experiencing the war the way it was now, and now the comment like, okay, if we will have a light at least nighttime, it will be great. So not
Yeah,
easy, but reality.
I received some pictures today from some friends of mine there in Khmelnytsky who were cooking on candles. They said, I'm finding a way to boil my soup. Had candles all in the pot and then had the bowl on top of it. You get creative. And listen, anybody out there tonight that is wondering if Ukraine is going to give up, wonder no more. They're not. And we've been saying that from the get-go. Update on the cost of the war. This is what Russia has spent, $82.2 billion. $20 billion roughly expenses of equipment, $28 billion provision of the armies, $15 billion salaries, $9 billion compensation for the dead, $7.7 billion compensation for the wounded, $82.2 billion total price tag. And here's what's interesting. That's 9 months into the war. That's a lot of money to spend and to send your army to the front, and they're not properly provisioned. You see what I'm saying? You spent that much amount of resource and money, and you still send guys to the front with not enough food, not enough ammunition. It's not enough winter gear. So whatever, keep spending.
Yes, it's one side, but please understand, our war it's a national war on our territory, for our land. And this is the big difference. And so even for the officer and the departments of supplying army would need the stuff on the Russian side, seems to me, most of them don't even believe.
Correct.
That, to the success of their army as occupants. So,
well, they've got the psychics and the spiritualists giving them the results of the war. We'll get to that in a moment. That's a little bit of what I'm going to be sharing and get your responses on. But before we do that, Ben Wallace came out today, told Ukraine, do not quit. Do not give up, because if you lose this war, Europe's going to lose. Secondly, Jens Stoltenberg from NATO said to Ukraine today, do not quit, do not give up any of your territory. Additionally, James Cleverly visited President Zelensky today from the UK. He said the UK is supporting you with actions, not just words. I made you that promise today. The UK intends to keep it up. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Thank you. Thank you to UK. Thank you to Ben Wallace. Thank you to NATO. Thank you to President Duda. Thank you to the European Parliamentary Council that today began their session with no lights on, all in the dark, so that they could feel what it's like to be in Ukraine. Thank you, everybody, for that. But we need more than words. Send some air defense with that do not quit. Send some airplanes. Send some Patriots. Artillery. We need more than just your words. Attaboy, we're behind you. Go get them. We need some supply on the heavier weapons. So hopefully, with Ben Wallace, that Cleverly, NATO, Stoltenberg, Duda, Germany, U.S., we're going to get some heavier weapons there, because going to need them. This winter is going to be rough. It's already wet and cold. We're not even in winter yet, and it's wet and cold.
Yes.
Going to need the heavy weapons.
I mean, the example, we call this war that about 90% of people dying, the military, dying on this war from both sides, it's artillery. So it's a artillery war. And in reality, it's still the situation with the quantity of artillery, 7-1. 7 units of artillery on the Russian side and 1 unit on the Ukrainian side. It's still like that. Yes, our artillery much better with the accuracy, and even with the range. But still, 7-1. Think about
Exactly.
that.
Exactly. So we'll see. Thank you for telling us not to quit. Now put a little bit of munitions behind that, please. Ukraine today banned the export of firewood. So we knew that was coming, and it needs to happen. Now, that hurts the economy of Ukraine, but it will save Ukrainian lives by having wood to burn. So that did happen today, an export ban on firewood, and that's logical and needed.
This one is the woods is an energy number one source for heating on the east side of Ukraine and even some part of central, the villages and so on. So we need it.
Yes, absolutely. So that was a good move on behalf of Ukraine. Now, 16 minutes and 30 seconds into the update, we're now going to freewheel it. Are you ready?
Okay.
We're going to do this. We're going to start here. We're going to talk about the Awkward Award. Awkward Award goes to Vladimir Putin. He really doesn't know what to do. It's obvious. And we'll continue to use that advantage that Zhenya talked about, 7-1 with the amount of armaments or the holding hostage economically. That's what he's going to use. But the Awkward Award goes to Vladimir Putin. And I'm going to show you some videos, Zhenya, and get your response. So we're going to start. I have my order here. Actually, no, let's do this. Awkward Award. Here we go. Awkward Award. Putin today met with some ladies.
Yeah.
Mothers of soldiers that have been killed. So I'm going to show you a couple clips of this, and then we're going to give you some reality. Here is the Awkward Award today. Vladimir Putin.
Еще раз добрый день. Вы знаете, что у нас послезавтра мы в России отмечаем День матери. Язык не поворачивается говорить о каких-то формальных стандартах вещей, связанных с выражением соболезнования, но хочу, чтобы вы знали, и я лично, все руководство страны, мы разделяем эту боль. Понимаем, что ничего не может заменить утраты сына, утраты ребенка, особенно для мамы, которой мы обязаны все появлением на свет, которая вынашивала его, выкармливала. Ясно, что жизнь сложнее и многообразнее, чем то, что показывают на экранах телевизора, либо даже в интернете. Там вообще ничему нельзя доверять, там куча всяких фейков, обмана, лжи. Там очень много информационных атак, потому что в современном мире, всегда было так, но с учетом современных технологий это стало особенно актуальным и эффективным. Это тоже информация, это тоже оружие.
Wait.
No.
That's the Awkward Award. He's sitting there trying to give this speech, okay? Now, we talked about the mothers. Let's take it one more step, and then we're going to break down the mothers. Here you go. One more. You're talking about uncomfortable and awkward. Here we go.
Мы все под Господом. И мы когда-нибудь из этого мира все уйдем. Это неизбежно. Вопрос в том, как мы жили. Некоторые ведь живут или не живут непонятно, и как уходят от водки там, или еще от чего-то. Непонятно. А потом ушли, жили и не жили. Тоже и незаметно пролистнулось как-то. То ли жил человек, то ли нет. а ваш сын жил. Понимаете? И его цель достигнута. Это значит, что он и из жизни не зря ушел.
First of all,
So,
wait. The beginning part was it felt like a church service. Now, life is special and we live for something. We have to look beyond for God. And okay. The reason we're laughing, folks, and really he's sitting there with no comments is because everything you just saw is fake and a lie. All of those women around that table were handpicked. Nobody can get around Vladimir Putin that close. Nobody. They're scared he's going to be poisoned or killed. Nobody can get that close. These ladies are handpicked. Look here. So here's some pictures today of him at this table. Notice here the lady from Eastern Russia, of course. And then this blonde-headed lady and this lady. And let's see here. You see that lady? There she is.
mhm.
This lady was interviewed on a TV. Here she is here. We've got the blonde-headed lady. Where's she at? Oh, she's right here behind the guys singing on the stage at the beginning of the war. And here she is. This was completely a staged setup.
Yeah. So no Oscar even wouldn't.
He got the awkward award. Not the Oscar. He got the awkward award. Oh, but really, what do you think when you see him trying to be personal like that and personable? And first of all, those ladies don't even have sons in the war. They're politicians and government officials that they dressed up to look like this around his table.
Okay, it's for whom? This drama and this show is for whom? It's a message for Russian people because so no critical mind and in the way of thinking there, no checking facts. So they just trust him. And and it's enough for people there, probably, if they do it, that means enough discussion with the same people who is like supporting him there and here in the political parties and okay, now they're mothers, tomorrow they will be grandmothers, after tomorrow they will be daughters, I don't know. And it's enough. I mean,
let me ask you this.
If it would be like something here, like in a real the country with democracy and real fact checking, this channel in a couple of such stories, nobody would be watching it. Not for us.
Well, they love fake.
Yes.
Let's do this right here. See, I personally think they're beginning to crumble a little bit on the inside. Look how they're arguing here on Solovyov on вечер.
Если вас втянули на условия, которые для вас неприемлемы, НАТО с вами воюет по полной программе, используя свое превосходство в количестве определенных типов вооружения, и вы понимали, что тогда вы долбанете ядерное оружие, говорите, да, ребят, вы, конечно, с нами так воюете, а ядерное оружие, которое у нас есть, нет, мы использовать не будем.
Напомню доктрину нашу. Если речь произойдет о существовании российского государства как такового, сейчас речь зашла о существовании?
Конечно.
На мой взгляд, на данный момент нет.
Минуточку, наша земля оккупирована.
О судьбе военной операции, да, речь идет все время.
Нет, речь идет о нашей стране.
За Украину, да.
Нет, извините, наша территория оккупирована. Вот, что еще? Ну как, да? Где еще? Конституция
мы ее объявили нашей территорией. Мы
ее Конституцией приняли.
Была не нашей территорией.
Минутку, у нас что, где-то есть надпись такая, что это не совсем наша территория, потому что включена в этих условиях?
Надписи у нас нет, у нас должно быть понимание происходящего.
Да, понимаете, Александрович, хорошо. Крым, если войдут, тоже не угроза. Опять же. А мы включили в 2014 году.
Опять же, это другая история уже с Крымом.
Но это, хорошо, в Белгород войдут, то тогда можно уже использовать стратегическое оружие?
Ядерное оружие, когда оно появилось, оно создало условия развития международных отношений. Вот почему не возникло крупной войны. Прямой агрессии НАТО против нас нет.
Что значит нет прямой агрессии?
Войска НАТО там не воюют.
чьи там войска воюют?
Там воюют инструктора есть, там,
это не
там
войска?
безусловно, люди
А
без
разве это не
нашивок и
войска?
все прочее.
Что есть
во
войска?
всех локальных конфликтах, холодной войны с одной и с другой стороны воевали военные специалисты.
Только они не на территории
И там
тех стран.
тоже, Володя,
Андрей,
тоже
они не воевали на территории тех стран, которые участвовали в прокси-войне. А здесь, извините, война идет на нашей территории. Все боевые действия, если вы посмотрите Конституцию, как определяют сейчас наши границы, идут на территории Российской Федерации.
Если даже они идут на территорию Российской Федерации, которые, кстати, этой территории стали недавно.
И что это меняет?
Российской Федерации.
Еще один. Извините, у меня прямо сегодня кружок людей, презирающих Конституцию, которые считают, что это не наша территория.
Ты нас хочешь подвести под монастырь?
Нет, вы себя сами под него подводите.
Не подводим.
Вы поэтому решите.
They're going crazy. They're going absolutely crazy, fighting over their own constitution. What is their territory? What is not their territory? And I remind you folks, they're not all just talking heads. He each night has members of the Duma on there. That would be like members of the Senate or House of Representatives here in the U.S. or a parliament maybe in your nation, wherever you're from. These are not just journalists. And they get on there, and you can tell it was getting hot when the guy said to Solovyov, Volodya, you know, speaking very directly to him with his proper name. They're crumbling, bud.
Okay. I think it's not occasion. It's not just reality is they're preparing Russian people for any kind of finish. I mean, the results of their attempts of the aggression this year before the new year. They preparing them. Okay, probably there or maybe not. There's different things in anyhow. We like the best of the best. If it was just a temporary territory or not. And there is a people like Solovyov, like which playing the role. Okay, no, this is our, but it's not occasion. These people like all of this idea is discussed. All of these questions are discussed. It's allowed or not allowed. I think they just preparing people that everything is possible by by something. They were preparing Russian people years from the rhetorics of Ukraine is our brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes there is something wrong in that culture. To the situation here that Ukraine is a nation which should be destroyed. It wouldn't be working 10 years ago.
True. Very
But
good
now,
point.
Easy.
Well, look at this one. Okay, then you lead me perfectly into this because I haven't, prepared you on the order, the sequence of the videos or anything I'm going to show, but you lead right into this. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Predictions. Russia has turned to psychics and spiritualists, and they're the ones giving the predictions now. But this is, like Zhenya's talking about, how they feed people to buy what they're eventually going to do.
Предсказания сбываются с пугающей точностью. Они видят будущее. К ним стоят очереди желающих получить ответы на главные вопросы.
Я думаю, что не так все будет плохо. Но
нынешний президент Украины, он засланный человек.
Где-то начиная с начала апреля и по конец мая положение дел Зеленского критичное.
Это победа. Это когда мы очень долго, нудно, медленно идем и в конечном итоге получаем именно ту долгожданную победу.
И это продлится вплоть до 2024 года.
Видится некий развал Запада, и это все где-то в районе конца 23-го, 24-й год.
Украина в том виде, который мы к ней привыкли и знаем ее последние, лет 30, она больше в таком виде существовать не будет. Это последний президент этой страны.
То, что мы сейчас проходим, все мы, все человечество в целом и отдельно наша страна, называется как раз-таки духовный рост.
В 2025 году Россия станет оазисом света. Все будут стремиться попасть сюда. Но не каждому это будет дано.
More of the same. So not only on the political side, propaganda side, now you have the spiritual, prophetic, psychic, telling the message. In 2025,
yes,
Russia will be the oasis of light and everyone will try to be here. but they will not all make it in. What rewriting the Bible?
No, it's just Soviet Union with the new colors.
It is. It's the Soviet Union.
Why? Because if you would ask 25 years ago, no, okay, let's take 40 years ago, the people about, hey, what do you think about the best countries, United States, European countries? They, like not European, it will be like, let's say, United States, then the West, Germany, and so on. They would be telling you how bad people are there surviving, how bad the culture there, they are poor people, they're starving, and so on. And we are, living in the paradise, and everything. And one day we have to believe. One day we will win. One day all the world will be in our, right in front of us, and people were living by that. Sorry, but it's same.
It is.
Okay,
it's the same
5
mentality.
years ago. Even this year, if it will be completely devastation in Russia, they will remember, okay, yes, it's not 25 yet.
Correct. It's not 25 yet. And I and you and I, we do not allow these updates each night to get on the political side of other nations. Sometimes we'll touch a little here and there on Europe or the US or something, but we try to stick to the story of Ukraine and the war in Ukraine with the aggressors. But if I was to share what comes out of Russia in regard to our own president here in the United States, people wouldn't believe it. They would not believe it. What comes out of Russia, I see it every day. We want to receive President Biden. We want to take care of him. Evidently, he has issues, and we need to make sure that we can nurse him back to health. And it just goes on and on and on. And this is what they do. This is what they do.
But
now,
it's
go ahead.
2 words. It's 100% connected to the situation with Ukraine, because the war, one of the things and reasons why we have this war, because the other terrorists and I would say sick people are trying to restore USSR, and Ukraine said no more USSR. And so the things, it's 2 different worlds. We want to be a part of West world, yes, the freedom of that level, democracy, and so on. And there is the USSR, the attempts of restoration, this like a union of Lukashenko and Putin at this moment, and maybe some others, but in reality, 100%, it's an attempt, and Ukraine is fighting against this attempt to pull us back to USSR. No more.
It's not going to happen. Well, you lead me right in, and this is where I want to take it now. So Danilov, the defense minister, interviewed today. He makes that very, very clear. So we've seen the awkward awards. We've seen the chaos and the madness inside of Russia. You've explained to us about this is the Soviet mentality. So what does Danilov say? Here you go.
Ми на сьогоднішній день отримуємо величезну допомогу від наших партнерів. За це їм велика дяка. Ми будемо виборювати як свою свободу, так і свободу Європи, так і свободу всього цивілізованого світу. Ми на це приречені, це наша доля, зробити так, щоб наші діти, наші онуки, врешті-решт, не воювали з Російською Федерацією. Ми маємо поставити цьому крапку. Ще раз наголошую, ми ні на кого не нападали, ми знаходимося на своїй землі, яку обов'язково маємо звільнити. Те, що стосується ситуації, пов'язаної з ставленням тих чи інших країн, дивіться, ще раз наголошую, що ставлення багатьох країн змінили ми своїми діями, своєю поведінкою і своїми перемогами на полі бою. На превеликий жаль, росіяни, вони не є цивілізованою країною, ще раз наголошую, країна колонії, якого свого часу колонізувала величезну кількість народів, забрала у них мову, культуру, традиції, багато чого іншого, зробила їх рабів, і вони на сьогоднішній день так їх використовують, як оце м'ясо відправляють на фронт для того, щоб вони там погибали, для того, щоб ми вимушені їх вбивати, тому що вони вдерлися на нашу землю. Питання, коли закінчиться війна, якою, скажімо так, буде наша перемога, Це питання тільки час. Російська Федерація зараз з усіх боків, що тільки не намагається робити, щоб вийти з нами на перемовини, для того, щоб взяти якусь передишку, для того, щоб зібратися знову і знову нищити наш народ. Я не думаю, що ми на це маємо йти ні на які умови до того часу, поки ми не звільнимо свою територію.
There you have it. Now that's a response to the madness. He said exactly what you've been saying about that mentality, that imperialism, take away people's lands. And he goes, we have to fight so that our grandchildren, our children do not have to deal with this ever again. They want to rest. They want to have a negotiation. No, we're not stopping until they're out of our land. Beautiful response today from the defense minister of Ukraine. Beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. And I think the world needs to understand the war, as soon Ukraine will get enough weapon, strong one, this war will be over sooner. And that's because Russia will not stop this war because they will realize or will get a revelation from somewhere. Oh, we're doing bad. No, they will not stop. It means for us, there is no option to quit. There is not that. We will fight. They will be sending their sons and fathers and with their missiles and tanks. We will be fighting. And thousands of people will be dying. And it's terrible. But if we will get enough weapon to stop them and to get them out from our country in 2 months. And we will have enough weapon to close up our sky. And let's say enough support from other countries in case of, okay, if you will be fighting, okay, let's take the war is over and Ukraine in a short time becoming a part of NATO. Do you think Russia will continue fighting? No, they will be looking at other fields. They will be looking other fields where this weak part, who is not protected, who stands alone a little bit, and so on, where we can take, spread our Soviet Union mind. This is so. I think there is a logic in that. Plus, taking out all the Russians out of our territory, and plus then the world continue the pressure, economic sanctions, and so on, blocking them, isolating them until the new politic will start. A reset. Will start there. Reset.
A reset.
Then Russia has an option, and then I believe it should be quite easy, but there is a lot of question why we don't have it, and it's like part by part.
That's exactly why we come full circle back around. The update began tonight with Ben Wallace and Stoltenberg saying, don't quit, go get them. Give us tools to get them, and we will. Now, what are we standing for? Last few things I want to show you. Talking about this war, this devastation, what is this mentality that's trying to happen? I've got a video clip here of a drone. Ukraine took out a Russian drone, but what's interesting is I'm going to show the video clip. I may show it twice. It's short. So you'll see the drone there. It's got the Z on it. And then the Ukrainian drone comes in above it and takes it out. That's the big story. They were happy about that. Got the video, but that's not the part I want to show. Of course, you'll see that. But look beyond the drone. Look down to the ground and look what the Russian world looks like in Ukraine. Here we go. Probably play it twice because you want to see the drone first. So here we go. So there's the drone, Ukrainian drone above it. It's got the Z on it. And the Ukrainian drone's going to take it out. And there is no sound. It's just footage. So they took the drone out. That's what you have. Now, I'm going to play it again. This time, do not look at the drones. Look at the ground. Look at the ground. Complete devastation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're standing against right there. Right there. Forget the drones. The drones were a bonus. We got to see a Ukrainian drone take out a Russian drone. I know many people are there going, I thought those drones were bigger. No, those were just recon drones. So you could get them up in the sky and get images back. But very thankful. Now, we saw earlier the awkwardness of Putin with the fake meeting with the mothers. We saw Solovyov fighting and arguing with State Duma members, talking about Russia and Ukraine and nuclear war, et cetera, et cetera. We've seen the madness of the psychics predicting about the great oasis of Russia. While all of that is happening, let me show you tonight the Odessa Symphony practicing in the dark. Oh, I saw you head bobbing back here. That one makes you proud, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure.
They're all under the lights in Moscow and arguing and fighting and proclaiming how great they are. And the Odessa Symphony, I think it was Brahms or something they were playing there by candlelight. Come on, man.
And musicians doing their job non-stop. I mean, doctors and medics curing people with candles and headlights. And I mean, like flashlights, and people, repairing electricity in a cold situation, sometimes under the shelling, non-stop. So our military guys are fighting in mud, in the winter cold, and one against of seven, they fight.
Correct.
Surely I'm proud of.
Let's go to this to close out. So we've seen all the images out of Russia tonight and all of that. Now, just looked at a little bit of the symphony in Odessa, looked at Danilov making his statement. We're not quitting. We're going to save our children and grandchildren's future. Now, I'm going to zoom out for this, Jeka, and we can talk over top of it right here. Look at this picture. You see old and young charging their stuff. Cold, coats on, but I still see some smiles there. A lady with her pocketbook and her jeans and her tennis shoes, her hat and her stocking hat, heading up to her place, probably to retrieve something that was destroyed. She's got her purse, so kudos to her. Look at the faces here, people crossing the river. The bridge destroyed to the right there. It's almost like colorized images of World War II. This is Ukraine. A lady overlooking a strike. This was in Kyiv. Really no commentary needed. I love this picture. Ukrainian tank, soldiers there. You can see the mud and the dirt, and look at the soldier just peering out with his eyes. That's who's fighting, man. Now, with that said, last couple of images. We saw earlier the awkward award winner, Putler. We gave him the awkward award for that stage madness in Moscow. What does our president look like? Well, check it out. in a children's center.
Mhm.
Let me make that a little bigger for everybody. In a children's center. Looking at the child. Hugging children. It's genuine. You can see Yermak behind him back there. That's the big guy. Always with him. You can see they have coats on. Look at here. Taking time to shake a little girl's hand. Those, my friend, are genuine pictures. That's real leadership. And that's why we're going to win. Period.
Yeah.
Makes you proud, man.
We know that. Yeah. We know the truth. We know where is the light side.
Mm-hmm.
We trust God and do our part.
No faking that stuff. So, everyone, thank you tonight. Great update. A little different. A lot of videos we showed and we have shown. And making sure I've got them all covered there. And I do. We're golden. Jacob, thank you, bud. Continue to stand with Ukraine, everyone. Thank you for continuing to be here. Share, like, comment, give, buy stuff. We're getting close to sending our shipment out. More stuff comes in continually. Received an email today out of Australia. A streamer down there, his wife streams, and he says, could I have you and Jania's permission to do a campaign on our stream and raise money and send it to you guys to get to Ukraine? I said, absolutely. So big shout out to Skeghead tonight. These people got some strange names. I don't even, what does Skeghead mean? Don't even tell me. It's okay. We're good. So thanks, bud.
But thank you. And thank to Australia.
Thank you to Australia. Yeah, Australia's been a big help. So, all right. Until tomorrow, my friend.
Yeah, and see you soon.
Get some sleep.
And thank you for support.
We hope Mark feels better. I look forward to a good report in the morning.
Yeah.
All right, my man.
Me too.
Yeah, you too.
Okay.
To all a good night.
Good night to all.
Woo!